Who caught that boy? Who stretched that boy? Who caught that boy? I'm him.
I ain't never seen that man with Young Boy before that shit happened with V-Roy, you see what I'm saying? It's like he using that like as a face card to be around him like.
After King Von got sent up in that lobby, it's like the whole OBlock versus Ops energy been trying to creep back into the spotlight. Even after all these years, Lil Tim back online talking slick, like he ain't got nothing to lose. Popping off with Lil subs even though it's been 5 straight years. And now that tension? Man, it's starting to feel real dangerous all over again. Right now, we stepping into some heavy street politics that got the whole hip-hop world watching every move like it's a live-action movie unfolding in real time. Every rapper, every fan, every blog, everybody tuned in because they know this situation could flip crazy at any moment. To understand how this madness came back to life, we got to rewind the clock to November 6th, 2020. That night, King Von tragically lost his life right outside that Atlanta hookah lounge. A moment that shook the culture. Lil Tim, Kondo Rondo's right-hand partner, was the one who fired the shot, and he claimed it was self-defense. The court system accepted that and the charges were dropped, but the streets never saw it that way, and they definitely never let it go. For 5 long years, this whole situation been cooling like a pot sitting on low heat. NBA YoungBoy been dropping slick verbal shots toward OBlock through his music. Lil Tim been moving beside YB like he's untouchable out here. And OBlock been staying quiet, watching, waiting, calculating. But what just happened this week turned all that quiet pressure into straight boiling energy. And trust this goes deeper than people outside the culture even understand. King Von wasn't just another rapper from Chicago. He was considered real OBlock royalty, a figure people respected on a whole different level. He came up under Chief Keef's guidance, but Von carried something unique. While Sosa created drill music, Von was described by people in the streets as someone who lived a tough lifestyle long before the industry even noticed his name. Folks been saying for years that he had a serious reputation way before he touched a studio booth. So when Von passed, it wasn't just the loss of an artist. OBlock lost someone they viewed as a major leader, someone they felt could help open doors for their future. And this is where things take a wild turn. NBA YoungBoy just dropped a freestyle called Zero IQ, and the track came off super disrespectful toward King Von's legacy. But Lil Tim took it even further and made everything hit way harder. He jumped on TikTok, posted a video of himself vibing like nothing mattered, and he started rapping along to the wildest part of the song. The exact bars everybody online was heated about. Who popped that boy? I'm him. Who starts that boy? I'm him. Who? There was nothing hidden about it. No coded message, no clever cover-up. Lil Tim was basically bragging on social media in front of millions, acting like he was proud of the situation involving King Von. And he didn't care who saw it. The attitude behind it had people calling him reckless because the boldness was just unreal.
Boy, who stretched that boy? Who caught that boy? I'm him.
You got on that plate, that's all smoking like that.
But what really set the internet on fire was the timing of that TikTok. Lil Tim posted that video on November 6th, 2025, the same exact date King Von passed, just 5 years later. And here's where things got even crazier. That same day, November the 6th, 2025, Lil Tim's grandfather passed away too. Same date, 5 years apart. When folks online started connecting the dates, the internet exploded with reactions. Now, let me break down why that TikTok hit, different from all the other disrespect people been seeing online. Up until now, most of the shots were coming from music. Subliminals, metaphors, encoded lines artists could easily dodge if somebody tried to call them out. It gave people room to say, nah, I wasn't talking about that. But Lil Tim threw all of that in the trash without hesitation. He stared right into the camera, rapped those exact words with full confidence, and made sure everybody could understand what he meant without guessing. And the setup of the video made it obvious this wasn't some quick random moment. He looked like he was inside a studio or a spot with a professional setup. Clean lighting, crisp audio, everything looking intentional. This wasn't no spontaneous vibe. This was clearly planned content built to get the maximum reactions and send a message that couldn't be misunderstood. And trust OBlock wasn't letting that slide. Muna IK, one of the most outspoken OBlock members since Van passed, wasted no time responding. He jumped straight onto social media to address Lil Tim personally, letting him know that the disrespect wasn't being ignored and OBlock wasn't turning the other cheek on a move like that. Ike went straight at Lil Tim, calling him out for trying to use King Von's passing like some kind of face card to stay in the spotlight. And he questioned why Tim only popped up around NBA YoungBoy. after the situation happened with Vaughn. Ike made it clear he wasn't buying that sudden friendship at all. In that interview with FYBJ Maine that been spreading everywhere, Ike laid it out real direct. He said, "I ain't never seen that man with Youngboy before. That situation with Vaughn happened. He using that like a face card to be around him, to make them look a little tough. That alone had people listening close because he wasn't sugarcoating anything." Ike wasn't just talking about music or internet moments either. He called out the way Lil Tim been carrying himself since that night in Atlanta. He pointed out how Tim been making songs about the situation, bragging on stage and acting like he's some type of street legend, when, in Ike's words,
That man with Youngboy before that shit happened with V-Roy, you see what I'm saying? It's like he using that like as a face card to be around him, like to make them look a little tough, you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I look at it, but I ain't really like,
So if it was
it ain't much I can say because I'm still I'm working on my way up and shit, you see what I'm saying? I ain't,
sure.
if my time gonna come, it's whatever, but it's just that shit, like that's
the situation wasn't handled like real street business at all. Ike said loud and clear, "You got off, bro. It ain't like you did some street stuff and it's just left in the streets." That line right there had the whole timeline buzzing. He pushed deeper into the narrative Tim and his supporters been repeating for years. According to Ike and other OBlock members, things that night were not as simple as the internet made it seem. They claiming Vaughn wasn't even the one pushing the situation aggressive that night, and that the media twisted everything to make it look like Tim stepped up like some kind of hero protecting his friend.
So do you understand the whole situation or what?
I understand, but it's like, all right, you did what you did, okay.
Because
cool.
I heard, not to cut you off, but I heard a lot of people from y'all side getting that, some people saying he did with like...
but he'll do what any street do if he got to defend his people. But it's like, all right, you did what you did, that's cool, all right, boom, the police is involved, you got off, bro. It ain't like you did some street shit and like, it's just left in the streets. That shit on some police shit too at the same time, you get what I'm saying? Like, do shit, like it's a difference from doing some street shit and the I know you did some street shit, right? And your name, you in the streets, like, your name ring or whatever. But you did some street shit, whatever, you claim, but the police was involved in that shit. But it's like, I don't like the way he go about it, like, be flexing and shit. Like, don't act like you did some shit and just got away, like, off the chain, like, off that, like, bro, niggas ain't, like, it's some shit I can't even say. But it's like, I don't like how certain
That statement shook folks because it went against the narrative. Most people been repeating for years. Ike finished by saying Tim should keep things humble because the same type of situation he bragging about can flip on anyone if they're not careful. Ike warned that moving reckless can come right back around, and anyone thinking they untouchable can get hit with reality fast out here.
humble, gang. You see what I'm saying? I feel like he ain't humble about that shit, like, cause the same way like you did what you did, that shit could happen to you too, gang. Like on some easy shit. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bro, you got lucky. You did what you did. You defended you stood your ground, whatever. But it's like, it's just the way like had be playing out now, like all that on stage and okay, you
tough, like you just
yeah, gang. Like I don't be liking that gang, cause
bro was gangster.
Bro was a gangster. This is what I'm saying.
He died a gangster.
Ain't doing no like with shit like that, bro. It's like, bro, you got lucky, really, bro. Like it ain't like you was on no you ain't finna face this man face to face and just, you got lucky.
Let's break down the real truth behind this whole situation because it stretches way deeper than one moment outside a hooker spot. This wasn't just some random encounter. This came from long-standing tension, pride, ego, and years of street history piling up until everything snapped that night. King Von and his people pulled up on Quando Rondo, outside that Atlanta hookah spot, and anybody who knew Von understood why the room got tense instantly. Von had a heavy reputation in the streets, and folks always said he wasn't scared of stepping to anybody when things needed to be addressed. He wasn't known for backing down. That was the image people had of him everywhere he went. Here's what a lot of folks don't get about Lil Tim, though. According to Muna Ike and other OBlock members, Tim wasn't viewed as some major street figure before any of this happened. He was just Quando's partner who happened to be armed that night. They've been saying he wasn't moving like someone deep in the streets before all this. He was just caught in a serious moment and reacted to protect his friend. When Von and his people pressed up on Quando, Tim saw his guy in trouble and acted the way a loyal friend would try to step in. That part alone ain't what got everybody mad. It's everything that happened after the situation that sparked all the anger and disrespect flying around today. Instead of keeping things low, staying out the way, and moving smart, Lil Tim started using the situation as a launching pad to build a name for himself. He linked up heavy with NBA Youngboy, started making tracks about the moment, and began pushing this new image like he was some longtime street powerhouse. That's what really pushed OBlock over the edge. Not just the loss itself, but the way he'd been carrying himself since day one afterward. And now we got to talk about the NBA Youngboy connection, because this is where things get messy for real. Youngboy and Lil Durk been locked in a lawn-gunning feud for years, long before anything happened with Vaughn. So, when the situation in Atlanta went down, it handed Youngboy a new way to push his rivalry with Durk even harder. Suddenly, Tim went from being Quando's quiet homeboy to being plastered everywhere next to Youngboy, traveling, performing, and moving like he was part of the main circle. The street politics behind all this are complicated, way more tangled than what the internet sees. And the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes why this situation refuses to die down. Quando Rondo been signed to Youngboy's 4KT movement for years, and their connection goes way back long before any of this drama started. But Tim was just partner from Savannah, someone who never asked for the spotlight but got thrown right into it after that one night in Atlanta changed everything. And once that TikTok dropped, everything exploded instantly. Within hours, the video was everywhere. Millions of views, thousands of comments, whole timelines turning into war zones. Fans of King Von flooded Tim's comment section with insults and warnings, while Youngboy supporters jumped in to defend Tim's right to speak on what happened. It wasn't even about music anymore, it became a full-blown online battlefield. But it didn't stop with random fans. OBlock members themselves started flooding their own pages with responses. Instagram stories, tweets, TikToks, they were popping up everywhere. Some posted throwback clips of King Von smiling, rapping, living life. Others posted short, cryptic messages that felt like direct shots at Tim without even saying his name. One response stood out heavy. An OBlock member posted a video of himself playing Van's music with a caption that read, "Long live Von, we ain't forget nothing." That message hit strong because it showed OBlock still views everything connected to that night as unfinished business, no matter what the court system stamped on the case. Meanwhile, Youngboy's camp stayed quiet. YB himself hasn't jumped online to address any of OBlock's messages or the rising tension, but word behind the scenes is he boosted security around Tim and the rest of the crew. That alone shows they watching the situation close, even if they not speaking on it publicly. Now, we gotta talk about this November 6th situation because things get real spooky here. King Von lost his life on November 6th, 2020 around 2:22 a.m. outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. A date and time fans will never forget. Then 5 years later on November 6th, 2025, Lil Tim's grandfather passed away. As soon as the news surfaced, the internet went wild connecting the dates like it was some kind of sign. Von supporters started saying this was proof that their man reached out from the afterlife to get some form of justice, pointing out how Tim posted that disrespectful TikTok on the exact same day his grandfather passed. The timing had people talking everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all filled with theories, fears, and heated debates about whether the date was just coincidence or something deeper. Some people online been calling the whole situation cosmic justice and Von's revenge, while Tim's supporters been trying hard to brush it off, claiming it's nothing more than coincidence. They saying folks are overthinking it, but no matter how you spin it, the timing feels wild, especially when you look at how calculated Tim usually is with everything he posts online. Then people started digging deeper, pointing out that Tim's grandfather was reportedly the one who raised him when his parents weren't around. So, losing his grandfather on the same date the situation with Von happened had the internet talking nonstop. Folks calling it some type of spiritual payback, or balance being restored in the universe. The theories got louder and louder as the day went on, and the reaction from Chicago moved fast. Real fast. Multiple OBlock affiliates jumped on social media with messages that felt like direct warnings aimed at Tim. They've been posting old clips of King Von, sharing throwbacks of him laughing, partying, or rapping, paired with captions like, "We still here and justice coming." Messages that had fans watching closely because they felt like more than just tributes. But it wasn't only OBlock speaking up. Other Chicago drill artists who were close to Von started chiming in too. Even people from FBG Duck Circle, a group that didn't always get along with OBlock, came out supporting Van's memory and calling out Tim's disrespect. That surprised a lot of people because it showed just how deep the situation cut across the entire Chicago scene. Things got so heated that certain venues started canceling NBA Youngboy shows over safety worries. Promoters didn't want any smoke at their events, especially if they thought OBlock affiliates might try to pull up and get close to Tim during a performance. Some promoters even posted statements about security risks without naming names. But everybody knew who they were talking about. The backlash to Lil Tim's TikTok moved fast and came hard. OBlock members been blasting social media with warnings, long posts, and videos calling out the disrespect. And the comment section under that TikTok? It turned into straight warfare. Van supporters and YB fans arguing non-stop, sending shots back and forth like it was a live battlefield. But here's the part that got everybody on edge. According to people close to the situation, OBlock hasn't just been talking online. They've been actively trying to track down Lil Tim. The energy around this situation is starting to feel dangerous again. And the streets are watching every move. A lot of people in the streets feel like Lil Tim been hiding behind NBA YoungBoy's fame and heavy security, and they're saying they want that one-on-one smoke without the security team standing in the way. The tension got so loud that law enforcement started watching everything real closely. Atlanta police even boosted patrols near spots young boys camp usually moves through because they don't want anything close to another tragedy like what happened to the night Vol lost his life. Even the music industry been locked in on this whole situation. Record labels been having quiet meetings behind closed doors talking about artist safety and whether it's worth keeping artists on board when they're tied to real-life beefs that can spill outside the music world. Some industry insiders been saying Tim's TikTok crossed a line even the music business doesn't want attached to their brand right now. This whole situation shows how social media changed the entire landscape forever. Back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, it stayed off camera. No phones, no posts, no internet crowd watching everything. But now, dudes get online bragging, posting TikToks, repeating wild lines, and then acting confused when people see it as disrespect and want to respond.